welcome back to the Learn course. Today we're talking about the most important lesson, AI fundamentals and essential tools we use to build systems and implement AI into our workflows. And the main point of today is to get you to understand what AI actually is and what it isn't. Okay. So let's look at the reality we face today, with 78% of organizations now using AI in at least one business function. And that's a big deal, right? This technology, people see the use case, they see the potential, what it can do for their business. So what AI actually is, artificial intelligence is a software trained on large amounts of data to recognize patterns and generate outputs. It does not necessarily think. It predicts the most likely next output based on data. How I want you to think about this is a sentence like this you'd usually read, right, and process. The AI looks at this and sees a whole bunch of numbers. Each letter has a numerical value. So it sees this as a long string of numbers, creates an equation, and uses another equation to solve the puzzle, right, which will be its answer. So it's very similar to thinking, but really what it's actually doing is just putting different pieces of the puzzle together with the parts that it already has. So an example, when you type prompt into ChatGPT or whatever large language model you're using, the AI will predict the most statistically probable response, and that's pattern recognition at scale. Once again, all it's doing is recognizing a pattern, trying to predict the best answer from what you've given it. And in the AI's mind, it's using numbers to do that. It's converting your sentence prompt into a numerical statement, some numbers, and it's just doing mathematics to get the best answer right back at you. So let's take a look at how generative AI works. This is probably the most popular use case for AI within businesses. So first of all, AI is trained on a massive data set, and that's a huge collection of information, right? And when you want to work with generative AI, let's say an image generator, the data set would be about like 10,000 cat pictures, like pictures of cats. And now when someone's asking it to generate a cat picture, it takes those from the data set and makes something quote unquote original from what is being given. It learns patterns in language, images, or data. When you give it instructions, it predicts and generates an output. The better the prompt, the better the output. When we talk about prompts, you get into prompt engineering, which is also a big thing. You want your prompt to be highly specific, to have certain parameters, what to do, what not to do, and that's going to help you get that output that you're looking for. Generative AI specifically can create text, images, code, and structured workflow. Okay, so overall, generative AI refers to AI's ability to create, right? To take a huge amount of information from us and from that create something original. Now let's look at automation versus AI. This is one of the big things. These are two different technologies or concepts, but they're equally as important and they are not the same thing. So if you start with automation, it follows fixed rules. It has a trigger, like the previous video I just made on ManyChat, taking you through the chatbot system. If this happens, then do that. Alright, within automation, there's also, like in the name, automatic, taking action on it by itself based on certain conditions. AI, on the other hand, makes statistic decisions, understands context, and generates dynamic responses. The best systems combine both. AI thinks, automation executes. I'm going to take you through a couple of example systems we've built for clients as well as ourselves. You'll see there how it's necessary to use both, right? The intelligence and the automation. So the first example is our LinkedIn RSS blog generator. The automation side of it, it automatically detects a new post blog in an RSS feed. An RSS feed is a real simple syndicate and is basically like a broadcast. Every time an article is added, the RSS feed creates a new link. So in our case, for our LinkedIn page, as soon as somebody publishes an AI blog, it gets added into this RSS feed. The automation detects that, takes it to the AI layer, which is ChatGPT, to rewrite the headline for LinkedIn, generate a hook, optimize the tone, and add a CTA. It goes to the next part of the automation, which automatically sends it to LinkedIn and publishes it at a scheduled time. So by combining automation and intelligence, you have a fully autonomous system that has a brain and has arms and legs, which is the automation. So this is what I believe, working with AI for a while now, probably the biggest game changer for businesses. Just like our email autoresponder, if a user downloads the lead magnet, or if they put their email into one of our chatbots, we'll start sending them an email sequence. But before we do that, we take it to the AI layer with the intelligence to personalize the subject line, to adjust the tone based on the user's behavior. Let's say they asked about product, or maybe they were complaining about something, they need some help. We're going to adjust the tone based on that, generate a dynamic response, and then segment based on interest patterns. So what that looks like is somebody messages the Elanix AI chatbot. They're interested in doing this training or corporate training. So as soon as they input their email, the automation begins. This gets added to our database, takes it to AI, and we're going to segment them onto the training side, personalize the email, and send them our pricing list. Example 3, Instagram DM agent. This is the ManyChat system, what I showed you in the previous video. Automation. If a user comments AI on one of our posts, we're going to send them a DM, and that's how the automation works, right? If a user clicks button, we'll take them to the next step and we store all of that info, that entire chat, we store it in the CRM, which I'll go over in a bit. We take that to the AI layer, which is the intelligence, right? ChatGPT. It will understand the user's question, it will answer their questions naturally, and it will qualify them based on the conversation. Okay? So now that you've seen a couple of examples on how automation versus intelligence, the next part of that is agents versus chatbots. Okay? So at Elanix AI, we do both, but we can start off with chatbots. These are the traditional pre-written scripts with limited decision trees, very static design language or whatever. And this is what I made in the previous video on ManyChat, how chat agents on there use the traditional flow. If this happens, do this. This happens, do that. Whereas an AI agent can understand intent. It pulls from a knowledge base, so that could be your website URL, a PDF of your company's shipping terms, your company's policy document. You can submit the PDF into this agent, and it will be able to summarize and pull data from that. It can adapt its responses and improve workflows, because the same way we would design a traditional chatbot, we'd have this huge connected mind map of different actions and choices. A lot of the time, an AI agent function will just be in one block, so your flows will be a lot more simpler. Right, so an AI agent simulates human-like conversation using language model. Each of these have their own pros and cons. For example, an AI agent is a lot more expensive than a chatbot, and it takes a little longer to set up than a traditional chatbot. But the chatbots cannot pull from a knowledge base, right? So you measure those things against each other. let's get on to the essential tools we use. And moving forward in this course and in the training, and whether you sign up with us to do private training or you just want to follow along in future videos, these are the tools you need to understand. This is what we've been using for a couple of years now. So we focus on practical implementation using ChatGPT and Airtable. Let's get started with ChatGPT. This is a large language model everybody knows about, and you can use this for content creation, strategy development, prompt systems, and knowledge structuring. And on the other hand, you get Airtable, which is equally important, and this is for the data layer. You use this as a database, storing data, CRM management, AI knowledge base, and workflow tracking. And what's amazing about Airtable, right, is you're going to use this within any automation. Is they've also introduced AI agents, and what it's become is like Microsoft Excel, a spreadsheet with AI capabilities. So you can automatically generate summaries, you can automatically send emails, so on and so forth. Moving on, we have ManyChat, just like the previous video. If you haven't watched it, check it out here. That's what we use for our communication layer: DM automation, lead qualification, chat agents. ManyChat is absolutely amazing, especially if you want to start building WhatsApp chatbots, Telegram, SMS. This is what we'll be using. Okay. And Make.com is the automation layer. It's an automation tool, and this is what we use as a foundation for every single automation we build. Use this for connecting platforms, triggering workflows, moving data automatically, and building back-end AI systems. Alright. Make also now offers AI agents. You can build your own agentive system, which is quite spectacular. Once you build these automations and you develop the understanding there, building an agent is just gonna make things move much smoother. So let's look at how these tools work together, okay? Because that's where the real power starts to be discovered, is once you start to chain them together. Right, so this example system we have here, which would actually build on the previous video I did, is a customer will send you a DM through Instagram or Facebook or Telegram or WhatsApp, and all that information and that entire chat will get saved into ManyChat, taken to the automation, the chatbot side of it. Okay. AI, the ChatGPT, will generate an intelligent response. All of that data is stored in Airtable, okay, along with their email, their phone number, whatever else you need from them, whether it's pictures, their questions, right? After that conversation is complete, you take it to Airtable, right, to store all of that data in. And then our automation, Make.com, will trigger follow-up emails and updates, so on and so forth. So the outcome of all of this is now you should understand how AI actually works, right? It's a mathematical system. It predicts the best next output using a huge amount of data in data sets that is trained on. That's how it works. And it is very similar to a child, right? You teach a child what different animals are, what the colors are, so that in the future he or she can use that info to create something new. You should know the difference between automation and intelligence, and you should be able to identify already some opportunities in your own business and understand how to build a simple AI system like this using the tools that I just taught you about. Instagram, ManyChat, ChatGPT, Airtable, Make.com. Create a sort of ecosystem that works for you 24/7. Alright, and that's thanking you. Just build your AI team agent, deployed in 7 days. Training just like this, I can do with you and your team. We have half days, full days, etc. Check out the website. I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, you put them in the comments. And remember, with Elanix AI, it's more than possible.